Hello and welcome to Lightroom Bits. Thank you for tuning in. I've got today an image from a fairly recent hill walk. This was taken from quite high up. It's a very pretty bay. It's a hazy day. The shot is straight into the sun. I've got lens flare. It's a bit of a mess. I think I may have normally just erased this shot, but there's a couple things. One is I like the general composition of the shot with the subject of the tower and this leading line coming to it, and then we go round the bay and back to the tower. It's nice, but the haze is really something else. I think I only did not erase it because it was such hard work to get in that place in the first place. So there are a few fixes here. First is it's crooked. Second is the lens flare. I might not be able to fix that. I also don't like it just at the edge, this little bit of the hill that drops down suddenly, just making a little edge there. So switch modules. So you see shooting of the sun, this is completely blown, and the corresponding part of the sea. So let's try and get the thing straight. So I'm going into crop mode. Over here on the left seems to be something going on with sunlight into the sea, because I'm not really sure where the horizon is exactly. So I'm going to be using the angle and just trying to draw the horizon where I think it is. Okay, looks a little better. There is something going on in the sky, so I will try to crop upwards from the land and see if I can leave the sky as it is and try to treat that. These bits of flare, I think I'll try to crop out that lowest part, and I think that will give us a nice leading line coming down here right to the corner. So I'm going to pull that up just so it gets just above there. So we then have this line coming down to the corner, and then the eyes brought up again. So let's complete that crop. So what should we do next? Let's try the sky. So no, I won't do the sky yet. Let's see if I can bring the first exposure module into some sort of sense here. So I'm going to drop highlights just so we can get it tidied up a little. Try to get some contrast into it as well. I'm going to get some clarity up. Might get some interesting colours out of this. Push the vibrance, a little bit of saturation. It's probably made the flare a little worse there. And let's work on the haze a little. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. Let's have a look at the dehaze. Now, applying dehaze will drop the exposure. So sometimes it's necessary to compensate as you bring up the dehaze. Okay. Still a little hazy. Let's have a look at profile corrections. Hardly anything, is it? I'll just leave it with no profile corrections. Let's have a look at that tower. A little bit of CA there, so I'll just click that. Okay. So I'm going to work on the sky grad next. I'm starting to like some of these colours. Right. Grad filter, I'm going to bring this down quite a way. I just highlight over the button just to see that we're affecting quite a lot of that sky. I may just straighten that just a touch. Okay. So let's drop the exposure a little first in the sky. Ooh, okay. Got an orangey brown look to it. Very nice. I like it. I'm going to bring the contrast up because I want some strength in those clouds. So let's push the contrast up, probably quite a lot. Going a little crazy there with that, but I like that. I like that look. I can hit the sky quite strongly with these effects because the subject, I suppose, the high tower on the hill there is not reaching into the sky, so I'm not really going to get artifacts around the tower, so I can really hit the sky nicely. So just drop some highlights now, just for the sky. A little bit, touch more contrast maybe. Lovely colours. Who'd have thought? So we've done highlights. I'm going to relieve a bit of haze again, and that will drop the exposure again. That's too much, I think. If I bring that more, it'll be too much. Let's hit it with clarity. Just wallop it right up. Okay, I shot this at f16, so I can see a little blob on the sensor there, and one here as well, and a little blob there that looks maybe a bird. Of a general rule with landscape pictures, obviously all of the sensor dust has to be cleaned out. Things like birds that are just a speck, if it's not obvious it's a bird, I will heal it out. If it's a bird, it can. If you can see it's a bird, that's fine. It can stay there. But I think in that instance, I'm going to have to heal that bird out. Okay, let's just do a before and after. So we turn from a really destroyed sky to something looking rather nice. So let's sort out these little blobs we're dealing with here. First we've got a little bit of dust there on the sensor. Just a couple blobs are not enough to really worry about a sensor clean. Spacebar in order to get back out again, and spacebar to zoom in again. Got a couple there, but I'm just going to deal with that one. Then that one. Okay, and let's deal with this bird. Spacebar to zoom in because I'm still in the heel mode. That I think is a bird, but get it down nice and small. That gets healed out. Okay, that's done. Can't see anything more to do in the sky. Have these bits of flare here to deal with. Not really looking forward to that. Gonna do this foreground next. We've got the foreground coming down nicely, and flare. That is the remainder of that big lump of flare I had. So let's just bring that up. It's about there. Just going to try to cover the whole bit of hedge as much as I can. Right. So I want to give the foreground a little bit more punch. So I'm going to just bring the exposure up just a touch. I'm going to have to relieve some shadows. Okay, this is affecting the flare too much. I'll just carry on as I am at the moment. Let's hit some more clarity. Let's give that foreground some nice punch. And I'm going to bring off some of the haze a little bit. That will bring down the exposure as I relieve the haze. And there's some sort of greeny purpley colour in there. I just want to bring that up with some saturation. And lastly, just a touch of sharpness. I like adding sharpness in my leading. Switch it on and off. That's affected the sky one as well. Okay, I'm going to use the range mask here. Turn on to colour. This highlight. This is going to be a little difficult, so let's try and draw what I want affected using the range mask. Did you notice how that brought down the effect there? And I'm going to shift click to add some more. Okay. I might have to paint that a little in order to bring it a little further down. Check the tower. Right. I'm going to work a little on this area, which is really a bit covered in flare. So I'm going to turn to the adjustment brush. I'm just going to paint all this. Right. So I painted there. I'm going to bring the exposure up a touch and contrast. A touch of clarity. And I'm going to relieve the haze a little bit, which really an issue everywhere in the image. Turn it off and on again. Okay. Let's just check the before and after of the image again. Certainly done something nice with the sky. We've got some punch there on the lead-in. The height of the tower seems to stand out a little more now. I like the effect of that. Let's go back to the image. Right, next work is on these areas. Dealing with flare is always a little difficult. So, we got another one there. So working on this one first, I'm going to use a radial filter. Just drag that over. Just make it very slightly bigger than the area I'm trying to work on. So we've got a little bit of a pinky look. Just going to check what the mask overlay is affecting. Okay. So, getting rid of the pink. I'm going to drop the temperature, I think. Let's give it a bit more of a blue effect. And trying to take out some saturation. There we go. Off and on again. Okay, and I think we just lost a touch of sharpness. I'm going to put just a little bit of sharpness back, see how that affects things. Yeah. Okay. Done. we've got this to deal with now. I'm going to try a heel for that, just to see if that helps. I think that works. And this area down here, not really sure. I think I will try another radial filter there. So let's draw out the filter. Okay. It's too green, so I'm going to tint that up until it looks better. Okay, so we've made it more pink. It's a little bright now, so if I drop the exposure a little, ooh, too much. Don't have to add a touch of clarity, just to try to merge the sharpness in a little bit. Okay, on and off. It turns this one on and off as well. This one's not perfect, this needs to be more green. Just make it very slightly bigger. Move this over a touch. See a bit of minus tint, see if not completely happy with the one in the sea, but we are at 100% zoom. So coming back out, that looks fine. The sea has been blown a bit over here because of shooting into the sun. I could try and bring that down a bit, but I'm actually quite happy with it. It does give a nice feel to the image, gives it a nice contrast between one side and the other side of the image. But I have to deal some with this down here. This is too bright. Trying to decide if you use an adjustment brush here or a radial filter. I'm going to try the adjustment brush just to turn on the mask overlay so I can see what I'm drawing on. Okay, see what we can do there. It's a little bit too yellow. Let's drop down that's going too green. So put temp back like as it was. Let's just drop exposure and see what's going on there. Ooh. I don't need that to be perfect, because there is flare around the image. Actually, dealing with the exposure is working nicely. Put it back to -1. Stop. That's fine. Adding some clarity, just to try to match it up a little bit. Okay. That's done. Let's have a look at a before and after. So you see we've got some punch and some extra texture in this bit, just to provide some foreground interest. Still a little bit of a flary feel around here, but I really don't mind that. At least we've got rid of those horrible lumps there. Sky's been cleaned up, and scarlet's really an interesting colour. I really like that. So we can see, for instance, what's happened here. The before and after. You can hardly see it at 1:1. So let's turn that back and do the sharpening. So I'm going to position the my little zoom on the tower. Let's sharpen this up. So, not that big key, the Alt key. Start to drag masking. Everything that's white will be sharpened. So let's bring that right down. So we want the foreground, a little bit of the edges of the clouds, and we want the sea, just to give nice texture in the sea. So letting go there, and then adding sharpening. That looks good. So just do a little before and after. So you can see how we've just brought down the strength of the sun a little, but adding that grad filter in the sky and really going a little bit crazy with it, we've really brought out some nice, really nice orangey brown colours there. It was shot on a cold winter's afternoon. I like these sun rays as well coming down, and the little blobs of various colours of the sky. Let's turn it back to our image. Let's just have a look at it full screen. So that is an image I nearly erased and threw away. Very pleased with it. Thank you very much for watching Lightroom Bits.